After 39 years in prison, 39 years, Ricky Jackson was exonerated of a crime he didn't commit and released. His is the longest wrongful imprisonment in the history of the United States. Tragically, some of us live behind the bars of bitterness far too long. We don't have to, but we live inside the prison of sour feelings about someone or something in our past. We could live free of all that, but we choose not to. Can you imagine being someone like Mr. Jackson? You're 57. You've been locked up since you were 18. Finally, someone opens your cell door and offers you freedom. Would you take it? He did, gladly. But let's say that happened to you, and when you were offered freedom, you didn't take it. I mean, after all, you're bitter. You're full of anger. You've been mistreated. So you just slam the door of your cell behind you and live in your little world with resentment. That's the way it is with a lot of us. God offers us the freedom of His forgiveness, but we don't get to enjoy it because of the way we feel about and treat someone else in our past. Jesus has been very clear about this. Forgive or you won't get forgiveness. In His Sermon on the Mount, He said, if you don't forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Matthew 6, 13 and 14. One of the most disturbing things Jesus ever said was about this. And whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so your Father also may forgive you. Anything? Anyone? Wow. We won't be forgiven unless we're forgiving. We can't go to heaven carrying a grudge. But that's what some of us are trying to do. Why? Why is it so hard to forgive? It is, isn't it? I'd like to share with you two reasons why. If you remember the words heart and part. First, there's the word heart. Forgiving someone is hard because we have to change our hearts. You know, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Matthew 12:34. If our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence, 1 John 3:21. It's that heart we're talking about, the spiritual heart. If I break a bone, I can have it set. If I cut my skin, I can get it sutured. But when I have a problem with my spiritual heart, I have to change. And I might not want to. That's why forgiveness is hard. It calls for us to make changes we might not want to make. Let's flesh that out a bit. Our spiritual heart actually has three components. We think with our heart. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he, Proverbs 23:7. We feel with our heart. Love one another earnestly from a pure heart, 1 Peter 1:22. And we decide how to act with our heart. Be obedient from the heart, Romans 6:17. Think, feel, decide how to act. Forgiveness is hard because we have to change all of that. To forgive, we have to change the way we think about those that hurt us. We're told to forgive as God in Christ forgave us, Ephesians 5:32. When God forgives, what does He do? Hebrews 8:12 tells us He forgets. He thinks of us as someone that never did what we did, and that's what we have to do. We have to see the person that hurt us as someone that never hurt us. Man, that's hard. To forgive, we also have to change the way we feel about those that hurt us. After teaching us to forgive the way God forgives, Paul went on to write, therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children and walk in love. Ephesians 5, verses 1 and 2. This is agape love, a love that wants what's best for the one that's loved. I'm to want what's best for the one that has treated me worse than anyone else? Love? Really? To forgive, we also have to change the way we treat those that hurt us. We can't get even with them or hurt them because they hurt us. Never avenge yourselves. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink, Romans 12 says. We're to be kind to those that have been unkind to us. That's tough. That's hard stuff. So forgiveness is hard because it requires a change of heart. We have to change the way we think about, feel for, and act toward those that have mistreated us. Here's another reason why it's hard. First, there's the word heart. Second, there's the word part. Forgiving someone that hurt us is hard because it calls for us to be part of their lives again and let them be part of our lives again. I mean, who wants to do that? Reconcile with someone that has been so vile? But that's the very thing needed to help us change the way we think, feel, and act. Look at the example of Jesus. Watch him step back into the lives of those that disappointed him. The night of his betrayal, hours before he was beaten to a pulp and stapled to a tree, he said to the apostles, "You will all fall away because of me this night." Matthew 26:31. And they did. Look around Golgotha. John was the only one there, and he was nestled inside a group of courageous women. Where were Peter, Andrew, James, Matthew, or even Simon the Zealot, the terrorist? They were all gone. How did Jesus treat these people after his resurrection? In Luke 24, he told two disciples he had met with Peter privately. Can you imagine that meeting? Can you imagine what they talked about? The last time they were together, Peter had denied Jesus 3 times. But Peter became one of the greatest advocates of forgiveness in his day. I wonder why. In John 20, he met with all of the apostles without Thomas. What were his first words? Peace be with you. See the mercy? He didn't say, where were you when I needed you the most? He didn't say, I walked on water to be with you, but you couldn't even come stand by me. No, he forgivingly said, peace. Also in John 20, on another occasion, he met with the apostles and Thomas. Thomas demanded empirical evidence of Jesus' resurrection, putting his finger into the nail prints of Jesus' hand and his hand into the wound of Jesus' side. So what did Jesus do? First he said, peace to you. And then he helped Thomas with his needs. If we're going to be forgiving, we must reconnect to some degree or on some level with those that hurt us. Like Jesus on these occasions, we need to talk with, try to live in peace with, and help those with their needs. Let's look at our new memory verse one more time. Colossians 3, verses 12 through 14. Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. This time, Let's connect these virtues of a compassionate heart to the life of Jesus. With your study leader, see if you can find things in Jesus' life, ways, times when He manifested each of these wonderful virtues. It'll make you love Him even more and be even more appreciative of Him. Do so. Work on it. And I'll see you next time for our next study.